All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do that's on my list is shorten the distance between the upper and the lower triple tree, which is cutting the neck, cutting the stem, re-welding that. So the goal and objective is try to get the top triple tree as low as possible, close to the line of the tank. So yeah, let's see. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna start taking it apart, kind of have an idea in my head. Hopefully it works out, but we'll see. All right, so I got my stem shortened 3 inches. Nice little stubby stem. Now I'm gonna throw this bar stock into my lathe, take it down so I can slide it in, drill a couple holes, weld it, as well as weld the seam, just to make sure this is extra strong. Don't ever wanna worry about it. So let's open up the lathe and get going. All right, got this all tight. I'm gonna press fit this in both sides, weld the holes. I'm only gonna weld one side, and then I'll slide this piece on just to make sure that everything's the right length. I'd hate to weld it all together and then it'd be the wrong size. So by welding one side, it gives me the opportunity to put this in place, put it back on the bike, and make sure everything fits. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, shorten the neck about 3 inches. I'm gonna have to notch the tank so I get all the clearance I need to turn, and then like I said, I'll gusset the frame, make it a lot stronger. So pretty happy with it. Makes the side profile a lot better, but also since I just slid the forks down, the front end's gonna be higher now. So I'm gonna end up cutting the springs or making this a complete hardtail, I don't know, front end hard tail, but it's not a tail. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So still debating if I want to keep that, or if I do have any suspension, it's going to be very minimal, because I'm going to end up, first thing I'm going to try is I'm going to cut the springs to get the ride height that I want, which then will more or less only give me an inch or two of suspension on the front, but I'm fine with that. All right, so I've gone through a couple of renditions of kind of what tires I want, or what wheels I want to run. I threw the Buell front end on it. Love the Buell because the external caliper on the close to the end of the rim. And so I thought the standard, the XS 500 wheel looks pretty close to this style. But then I got to thinking, what if I kind of, well, fit the front wheel on the rear, even though this can't hold a sprocket. But in my head, I've kind of figured out a way to use these holes to kind of clamp 2 pieces of billet of aluminum machined, spaced out correctly, to run this front Buell wheel on the rear of this bike. I've got a really cool friend that's way smarter than me, and he's gonna help me, so yeah, let's see what he can design in CAD. All right, so here's for the wheel adapter to put the Buell front wheel on the rear. Like I said, I got a buddy, Josh, thank you. He this is version 1, printed out of plastic, of course. Version 2, and then of course the sprocket's just bolted to this one. So have the same size bearing that's on this that'll now go in here, and then this will slide in this one. This is version 1, of course, so it's a little tight. We're gonna adjust it a little bit, and then the sprocket will go on that side. There will be through bolts, grade 8 bolts going through, and yeah, pretty freaking cool. So I'm pumped to have the same front and rear tire and wheel. This is the small, I'm gonna get a whole different set of wheel or rubbers, tires. This one's a sport bike. That one kind of looks like I'm gonna be off-roading a little bit. So I think I found one other version of like a classic vintage tire that I'm gonna try. But yeah, I am pumped. So now it's time to get the Buell front tire on the rear to fit in the swing arm. So this, I think this is 3/4 inch. The axle for the Buell is 1 inch. So I'm gonna cut out a plate that's this same shape. Since this is gonna be a hardtail, I don't need any adjustment. I'm gonna have a chain tensioner on it. So I'm gonna replicate this plate, drill the hole with a 15/16 drill bit, and then slowly open it up with the inch, make sure it's tight. And so this will end up being about a 1/2 inch, because this is 1/4 inch, that's 1/4 inch. But yeah, so I also have this axle that's 3D printed to make sure everything fits. I have the right size, and then I will get this made eventually. But right now it's just test fitting everything. So the rear axle fits. Of course, I'm gonna have to 3D print a longer one, or just understand that I need to bring this out about 1 inch. And then of course I'm gonna fill in all these welds, sand them down, make this all look like one piece, but pretty happy. Now that I got the tire in place, of course, my clearances are not good anymore, which is fine. I kind of anticipated that. So I'm gonna cut this cowl in half. So I'm just gonna angle grind it right down the middle, make some cuts on the frame, and just spread it open, and then I can fill it in with just another 1/8 inch plate. But I'm also gonna put in recess a tail light, pretty much this whole section. So I'm gonna have to cut that out anyway. So yeah. Alright, got the tail section widened up. I'm gonna do that later, finish the back end of that. I'm gonna move on to the tank and the carbs and the pie cut intake runners. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut off these tabs and just have one bolt underneath the tank that hides it, just so when I put the seat in, I don't have to worry about these tabs or anything. So it'll clean up the seat, make it a little bit easier, and then once I'm done with that and have the tank in the correct position, I can start working on the intake runners. Alright, got the start of the intake runners. Next thing I need to do, you can kind of see the frame's in the way, so I got to notch that out to get up to the velocity stacks.